I'm standing about, I'd say, about 6 to 7 feet away from the vehicle. So I'm going to show you how it presents itself. I didn't see any obvious cosmetic blemishes, but now I'm going to be taking a second pass here, and we'll take a look a little deeper while I do paint meter measurements. This meter here reads in the thousandths of an inch. So let's just go ahead and move on in here. Looking at the front bumper area, I just checking here. I actually wiped it down a little bit because it was dusty, and I wanted to get this as clean as possible. So just here on the plastic here on the lens cover, just there are some little blemishes here. Not sure that'll come clean or not, but you definitely want to at least know about it. Okay, the paint finish, it's smooth to the touch, right? And it's got a nice luster to it. Okay, everything seems to be properly secured. Not really seeing any obvious rock chips jumping out at me just yet here. So looking good, lenses properly secured. Maybe like a little chip right there, but so far looking pretty good. Start off with the readings here. Okay, first one is 6.5, 6, 6.5, 6, 6, 6. Typically, I do about 2 readings per panel. But I know we should really slow down and just get as many measurements as possible. So, let's get the right side. 6.5, 6.5, 7, and 7. Right. Looking at the windshield, didn't see any obvious major rock chips or cracks or delamination. Right. I've already got a still photo of the public ID, and then while I'm here, I like to look at the dash area, right? And we're looking for cosmetic imperfections, issues with workmanship, or a defect in materials. All right, and I still have to review that as well. Okay, let's get some roofline meter readings, starting with 7, 10.5, 4.5, 4, 10.5, and 6. Okay, so I got some high meter readings here. Right. Looking at the glass, don't see any chips or cracks. Looks good. See the factory badge work on there. Okay. Oh, before we go too far here, I always like to get a shot of the wheel well area. This is the left front. Shot of the strut there. All right, and then looking at the left front tire here, you can see the sidewalls where it's just some cracking here, probably from heated driving. Right, it's a P0 Pirelli. Rotors look good. I like to look for any obvious cracks in the ceramics. Looks good, and then a nice clear shot of the brake pad. Okay. And while I'm here, I like to get a side view panel. And what we're checking for is any signs of waviness, dings, or dents that we typically wouldn't see if we were looking straight at the panel. Also looking at the outside mirror, I always like to take a look at these. These have the tendency of getting chipped or scratched or getting banged up from just sticking out. Right. Okay. And this is just looks like watermarks here. Right. Let's get some door readings. 7. 6.5. Okay. 6. 7. Okay, looks pretty good. And I can see where it's got the clear bra application on there, and then in here as well. I always like to check this area here for scratches. Right. Let's get this. 6, 8, 5.5, 7.5, 7, 7.5, 6, 7.5, 7, 6.5. Okay. All right. Looking at the left rear wheel area. Here's the wheel well here. Try not to go too fast. It's too hard to follow. Alright, and then looking at the rim, tire looks, I've seen a sidewall damage here. Rim, I see a little discoloring here. Okay. Got the valve cap, rotor looks good, and then here's a shot of the brake pad. Another view from the backside here. Alright. Looking at the rear bumper area, don't see any scuff marks back here. Lens properly secured. Taillight lens looks decent. Mesh grille, good. Nicely secured. We'll be checking the parking distance control here towards the end. It's good. Get some more meter readings. 7, 7.5, 7, 7.5, 6, 5.5. Let's try that again. 5.5, 7.5, 4, 4.5, 10, 10.5. Here, there is a little scuff mark here, scratch. You may be able to buff that out. I'm wearing a glove right now, so I can't pick it up with my fingernail, nor would I want to scrape it with my fingernail. Right rear wheel well area. I think I did this one. Oh well. Hopefully it's not a repeat. Okay. Rim looks good. Shot of the brake pad. Side panel view. Right. Glass looks good, and don't see any scratches, chips, or delamination. Belt line trim looking good, or window scraper. Get some door readings. 7, 7, 8, 7, 7. Outside mirror nicely secured. It did notice some scuff marks there. Right fender. 7, 7. Right front wheel well. Right. And then tire, and then a shot of the brake pad. I think that's coming out. Right. And then view of the dash from the passenger side. So far nothing's really jumping out at me here. It's a little tiniest of rock chips. One reason I can see it is the sun is hitting it just right. And then I'll go ahead and push back and do one last view before we move on. On this portion of the video, what we're going to do is I've got the camera on the instrument cluster, because what we'll do is we'll cycle through the gears. We'll cycle through the ignition, right? So we want to see all the warning lights come on. And then once the engine's running, they should cycle off once the self-diagnosis has completed its cycle. So here we go. And that way you can experience what I am as far as the way it starts, how long it takes, and the idle, so on and so forth. All right, so let's get it prepped to start. Okay, I saw the little lights appear up on the steering wheel as well. Saw a bunch of lights come on. I still need to review everything as well when I look at the video. And here we go. Start off with the ignition. We got the out mileage at 12,507. Fuel's at, I guess, a quarter of a tank. And we got the door open. That's me having the door open right now. So here we go. Okay. Nice. I'll stay quiet. All right. Nice, healthy start. Idle's around about 650, 700 RPMs, right? Don't feel or hear any abnormal roughness. Nor any misfires. Let's see here. Yep, mileage still at 12,507. And check engine lights cleared. Parking light indicator is on. And looks like the low tire pressure monitoring light is still engaged. So we'll have to double check that. And then let's walk towards the rear of the vehicle. And so when we go back there and we are looking at the exhaust, we don't want to see any signs of smoke. We don't want to see black, blue, gray, or white, right? Condensation is okay, especially in the beginning, but that needs to clear up at some point. So I'm going to stay quiet again So we're listening to the tone of the exhaust. Don't hear any misfires, any roughness. Just a little bit of condensation right there. But I'll be checking that later to make sure there isn't any more. All right. And then here in the engine bay area, don't hear any abnormal noises coming from the top or lower end of the vehicle. I checked the underside of the panel as well. And I checked the emissions decal to make sure everything is a match. There it is. And took as many photos as I can. There's a number down here. I'm pretty sure it came out, and I'll just try to capture that with the video as well. Got all that. Engine bay, I can see the catalytic converters there. Then once I get underneath, I'll check as well for the exhaust. Okay. We got anywhere where I can get any vehicle identification, I try to capture that on video or with the photos. Engine bay looks like it's nice and tidy. I mean, there's not much of a view in here, but I try to poke around as best as I can with a light as well, and didn't see anything abnormal jump out at me. All right. And I've got this stick here. The shocks work, right? So we can see how the deck lid, it's supported by the weight, but it was a little windy out here, and it almost came down, and I don't want to chip anything. So I have this as a safeguard. So as you can see, it is staying up. It's just a little bit weak. So if the wind kicks up any more than it is right now, it'll bring it down. So that's why I make sure nothing happens. I'm just here to document, not destroy. All right, and then I checked the oil already. Oil looked like it was down about a quart of oil. It felt a little gritty, I thought, and dirty. So it's probably something you definitely want to. I'll probably want to get that taken care of if you can get a hold of the service records. I looked at the coolant as best as I can see. I didn't see any signs of cross-contamination. So I'm going to go ahead and let this idle a little bit, and then let me just put this to one side here. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to let it idle for at least 10-15 minutes while I do the rest of the car, and I'm just putting it through the worst conditions possible given the limited time that I have. And also it'll heat soak the rear suspension a little bit as well. So when we go on the road test, if there's anything loose, hopefully I can pick it up then. And then nicely secured. I've also undone the fuel filler area. That the door opens fine electronically. And then let's take one last look at the instrument cluster here, and then I'm going to start shooting the interior and just taking a close assessment of that. I've been road testing here for about 3 to 4 miles already. You know, there's so much traffic here. It's really tough to get up to speed. There's been once or twice where I've been able to get on it a little bit, and performance-wise, it's there, right? So I'm gonna try to find a bare spot again to where I can get this up to a proper speed. But if not, just performance-wise, engine pulls well, transmission shifting is dead on, steering I'm not feeling a shimmy. I think the top speed I was able to get was maybe 55 miles an hour, nothing as high as 80. Lights, I've already checked all the operations there. Those are all working. AC blows cold. Got to check the heater, radiator works. I turned on the navigation, as many accessories as I could. Also paired my phone to make sure that works. I know that's huge. Outside mirrors worked. So it's a nice car, just going through its paces. That tire pressure monitoring light is still on. I don't know what the deal is on that, but maybe that's something you get looked at. Also, we're running a little low on fuel as well, so we gotta get it back home. Operations test.